Hello there, and welcome to Thank the Maker, a podcast about heroes, princesses, scoundrels, hokey religions, ancient weapons, and all things Star Wars. I'm Adam Russell.
I'm Ryan Key.
Hey, I'm Nick Ganbarian.
Hey, it's Mike Forster. Looks like we have a very special guest here. Ryan Key, 501st member. Congratulations, you made it to the ranks. This is incredible.
I
Thanks,
don't believe
dude.
you.
Can we? Yeah, big shout out to John from the Dad Batch.
So if there's a Santa hat on a clone trooper, that means Earth is canon.
Yes.
How do you like
Ooh,
that?
Segue King.
All right, go ahead and roll that music again.
I'm done.
All right, psych. We are talking about that though. This here week on this here podcast.
You guys go follow Alpha Ignition on Instagram. He made this. And
John
made all
Rodriguez, the homie.
all my Bad Batch helmets. The dude is just a real gift to the community. So give him a follow. He makes really cool shit.
Hey, that clone helmet right there. Gift from John Rodriguez. And these those clone grenades over there.
Mike, what do you have
from the
from
men's
John?
garage.
I don't have anything
Oh,
from
me
him.
neither.
Yours is live action, yeah, Adam?
I think so.
This one's animation. I got three animated clone helmets.
He said there was something weird about the sculpt on that one, so I think it's kind of an in-between kind of situation.
B-grade.
What do you call it, Mike? B grade? Is that what you said?
B grade, like you wouldn't sell it.
Got it.
Bees? Like bees?
I have a Captain. I have a sideshow Captain Rex animated helmet on the way, but it's taking forever to get here.
Oh, speaking of sideshow, shout out.
Dude,
We got, I'll just say Mosh Isley got a sideshow Grogu. That's all I'm going to say.
Sick.
wait,
Sent to us from Sideshow.
hold on.
Shout out Sideshow Bob. Big fan. Listener. Dedicated listener. You look
saw
so
him.
small back there. This is forced perspective. You
Yep,
got the boy
that's the
too?
one. There you go.
This little guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Dude does
So
one
cute.
big tour,
Hold on, I can't
puts
hear
an
you.
addition on his house, fills it up with Star Wars crap.
I can't hear you. Hold on. What did I do?
This is great radio right here.
Dude, it's the best. It's the coolest. It's like his little hair on his head.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
That thing is amazing.
it's amazing. And he's holding the little shifter.
A bow.
Dude,
That's my bow.
there's a great video on Tested, Adam Savage's Tested, where he takes the Sideshow Grogu and modifies him so he's posable because it's a static body and just a
Correct. Yeah, this one
articulated
is
head.
not like their usual thing. You can't move him around at all.
Yeah, just the head turns, right? That's it.
Yep.
So Adam Savage and I think Norm as well, they completely cut the baby into pieces. Take him apart, pull out his guts, cut
How
off his
savage.
arms, everything, and put like an armature inside so he can be posable. But it is disturbing as hell for a good half hour in the middle.
While they're chopping him into little pieces.
Yeah, and he's just laying there in parts on the bench the whole time. It's brutal, but it's
Well,
great.
He's the cutest little guy. You know?
Yeah, how about of all time? All right, speaking of cute things, you guys think Harrison Ford's cute, right?
Mm-hmm.
Duh.
All right.
Real cutie pie.
Me too. He's a handsome guy. It's weird how he looks like a completely different man in the mirror, though. Very asymmetrical face. Not typical for a handsome face.
Interesting. I've never seen
Wait, hang on.
a mirror.
I gotta
pic.
leave. I gotta leave and come back. Hang on. You gotta let
Okay,
me back in.
bye.
All right. See you
Okay,
later.
bye.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Don't do it yet. Now do
Professional
it.
YouTubers.
Bye, Mike. Anyway, we're talking about Star Wars in real life, in the sense that Earth, from a
IRL,
certain point of view,
as the kids say.
yeah, IRL, Earth from a certain point of view, is, in my opinion, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, in the Star Wars universe. There's some evidence to support this.
Yeah, you could make an argument.
Right. That's the idea here. That I mainly am making an argument, dragging these dudes along for the trip, and we're going
I-
to talk about some fun stuff, some references that aren't canon, some things that are, and try to make sense of it all, and also maybe do a little bit of math. I know Nick loves when I try to do math.
It's going to be a long episode.
It's going to be a long episode.
The Discord just put the picture of Harrison Ford dissected.
I haven't-
Dissected?
Yeah,
I haven't looked
Yeah.
at the notes that you made, but did you make notes or notes for this?
I did, yeah.
Sick. I'm glad you worked so hard on them. I haven't looked at them, but I know I've been thinking about it all day. There's just like one super clear one that absolutely proves it, like without a doubt. So whenever we get into it, I mean, I'm sure it's on the note, but there's one that's like it is canon, and it happened. So
Yes.
it's not you can't. I don't know how you even argue that it's not.
Yeah, so we have a kind of a den of antiquities, and then we'll get into what I feel like is irrefutable evidence in kind of its own category. Should we wait for Mike for this, or just get into it?
He's not back. He's not in the waiting room.
He is not.
Nick, how did
Yeah.
you do that fancy thing with your handle under your name?
It just popped up.
Oh yeah, I added that today. I upgraded us.
Yeah.
Let me upgrade.
Right when
Yeah,
you're.
just Beyonce
So,
does.
so do you like add it before you get into the room?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do that in January.
So that didn't come. Oh yeah, that was. I was like, oh, we're professional
let
on
me in.
YouTube now.
You can do it right now. You just I don't know where that happens.
Settings.
I hate social media. It's fine.
No, not settings.
Are we good? We're back?
We're back,
back.
baby.
Okay.
Look at Reverse Harrison Ford. It's in the Discord. Thank you, the blue guy 808. Oh boy, that looks like his twin brother
Oh, Ryan.
that got dropped.
Ryan, if you go to the bottom left where your camera is, there's 3 dots. It says
Yeah.
edit name and headline.
Oh, there it is.
Well, I have to exit full screen and then. Oh wait, no settings.
Nice.
Look at that.
Camera.
They
No.
call me
No,
at
the
Adam the
3.
Skull.
If you go all
Yes.
the way to the left on StreamYard, there should be a little like.
So, yeah, so I got to get out of full screen, I think, to do that.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
It's not settings. It's the 3 dots. The 3 shells.
Obi-Wan Kenobi says Harrison Ford looks like he has sleep paralysis. Demon.
Edit name and headline.
Yep.
That it is. Oh, also we're 1080 now. We're actually HD. I'm not talking about like 2007 HD. I'm talking about 2023 HD. Not UHD.
Is
Not
this
to be
all
confused.
because we got 1,000 subscribers on YouTube?
Yeah, that's it.
No, I went and spent another $100-something for the year on StreamYard.
Hell yeah.
Everything,
spend money to
everything's
make-
because of those.
You got to spend
subscribers.
money to make money, dude.
Yeah, dude. The only
Agreed.
reason I could do that is because of the Yellow Card tour.
They spent money to make this little thing, and now they're making so much more money than they were already making.
That's right. It's a fact. All right, let's talk about. I almost said the thing. We are going to talk about Indiana Jones. I'll just say it. But we're going to talk about why Earth is a planet in the Star Wars universe. And we're going to start it with a little den of antiquities.
For over 1,000 generations.
It is the dark saber.
It's a Calicori.
A Sith Wayfinder.
Dark science. Cloning. Secrets only the Sith knew.
All right, guess what? I have images to support my stuff
Hell yeah.
because who am I to show up here without any evidence? You know what I mean?
True.
Let's do it.
I want to believe.
You want to believe.
What is
In
the,
Solo,
Sorry, what is the name of this note?
Earth
Got
is
it.
TTM
Found it.
number.
Found it.
Yep, there it is.
I'm ready.
In Solo, we're looking at it right here. I'll get you a little zoom in. We've got in Dryden Voss's ship, in the background, none other than the fertility idol from Raiders, from the opening of Raiders.
Ah, yes.
Right there in Dryden's collection.
Where
I'm
does
gonna have
Where does Indy go to get that? Just curious. Do you know what country does he go to?
It's somewhere in South America or Latin America, right?
Yeah. Okay. But I don't know what the actual
Yeah.
what the actual nation state he
Right.
has to go to find
It's
that.
not
relic.
it's not the fake one that gets used in like Commando and all those movies, right?
Uh,
Remember how there's like the one it's like San Rafael or something. You know what I mean? It's like a
like a video game name for,
Exactly.
a city or country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's in Peru.
There we
Peru.
go.
Got it. There we go.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to go through all these, and then we can back up and talk about how this could possibly be possible if we're taking this all at face value, right?
That's some Inception shit right there. How can this possibly be possible?
So there's that one.
Entirely possible.
What's the possibility of this possibly being possible?
Is it possible that this is possibly possible?
It's particularly possible.
Sorry, Adam. Carry
No,
on.
I can't. I can't do the alliteration fully. All right. Then we have, sticking with Indiana Jones and artifacts. This is in Clone Wars Season 2, Episode 22, Wookiee Hunt, when Ahsoka's fighting one of the Trandoshans in one of their trophy rooms. There it is, Crystal Skull, right next to this this Knights of the Old Republic helmet.
Right. So you know how we try to really be constructive if we have criticism of Star Wars on this podcast?
Yes.
Sure.
Indiana Jones, that's not what we cover on this podcast. That is a terrible movie.
It's not Steve's best.
That is a terrible
work.
movie. Anyways,
Hey, I rewatched it
feels
recently.
good when
though.
you're allowed to do that sometimes, you know?
I rewatched it recently. Not too bad. Honestly, it's not.
My thing, I
me-
watched it
Are you-
during the pandemic, and there's a very, I've probably said this a million times already. There's a very hard line of when it turns into a bad movie. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's mutt,
I agree.
Tarzan mutt. Up until then,
Yeah.
it's like, I thought this movie was worse. And then it's like, oh, it's a bad movie now.
Final Destiny was sick.
Dial
Watched it
Destiny was
twice.
super sick. Yeah.
Loved it.
And that's on Disney Plus on Friday? Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's the first? I think it's on the first, right? And today it is. It's on Friday. So yes, I will-
We're totally rambling now, but also, you know what else is on the first? The Columbia Luke Skywalker drop.
Ooh,
Have you guys seen
that's
it?
good.
Yeah. Looks so sick.
Yeah.
I wrote him on
That's wing
Instagram
stuff.
and tried to flex. No reply.
They were like,
Message not even seen.
you
Sorry, I
and
was
every
more
other
into new
band
metal.
guy.
Yeah, moving on.
All right. Sticking with Indiana Jones, but jumping to Andor. Hello. There we go. We covered this on our Andor coverage. The Sankara stones from
Yes, dude.
Temple of Doom,
There they are.
right there in the back of Luthen's shop. Whoops, Matt, I did it again.
Britney Spears.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah, that's
Those are the ones.
definitely them.
Yep.
These things have made their way all over the galaxy. I can see why Indiana was after them. They're incredibly precious.
I also want to mention we talked about this in the coverage as well. There are so many artifacts in this shop in the front and the back. There's a big stone, a Mayan that looks like a Mayan calendar. It's different. It's got a different head in the middle, although similar, different. Some of the etchings are different, but it's the exact same type of thing. More on this later. We're talking about how this could be possible, right? Okay.
Okay.
Also want to mention that the opening sequence of Temple of Doom takes place in a nightclub called Club Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Yeah, that's a great
Whole
Easter
thing.
egg right there.
And we should also mention while we're talking about Luthen's shop here, the things frozen in carbonite. There was speculation that there was a whip back there that was Indy's whip. That is not a whip. We figured out it's there are a couple of them in the front of the shop too. There are these big kind of like ceremonial necklaces sort of things that you can see in different cultures, and they're apparently a thing in Star Wars as well.
The internet was hot on that for a while, though. We were hot on that.
There are people talking about it
Turns
like it's
out
fact in all
we're
kinds of
idiots
articles.
too. Yep.
Here is where it really gets exciting, though.
Hold on.
As
to your
if this
butts.
wasn't already exciting. That's what I like. Hold
on to your butts.
butts. Mace Windu.
Well, I'm trying to think of which one I should show first here. I'll do this one. Take a good look.
Behold my stuff.
Right there. In Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities in Galaxy's Edge, none other than the Ark of the Covenant.
What?
Itself.
It's no longer there. It was there at the beginning. It's no longer there.
Okay. Okay, so
So-
we'll just keep this little Lucasfilm Easter egg, this love affair going on. I'm here for it. I love this. I think this is fantastic. Did anyone open it and see what came out?
No,
Not-
you can't
that
open
would be a
thing.
bad idea, bro.
Did you see the movie?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, if anyone opened it, how many melty people would there be on the ground?
It's bad. It's a bad.
And there's usually a line outside of that store now, so it'd be a lot of melty people.
Yeah.
All right, and the last one, of course, is evading me right now.
Wow, look
I
at
can't-
this.
Oh God, look, this is great radio again.
What's the problem?
I lost the damn image. Lost it. Found it.
Is that a life day orb?
Could it be?
Right next to your
Could be, yeah.
giant red square? Wow.
Oh, right
Definitely
there.
Could be.
Yeah. Is that a life day orb?
Yeah, might be. That would make sense.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
This
here we
is
go.
great.
Here's the kicker.
Oh wait, hang on. YouTube's got to be on fire right now. Oh my gosh, we're just getting subscribers by the thousands now. Oh my gosh.
Stop subscribing. We have so many.
We have too many subscribers, you guys.
So it's
Here we
yeah,
go.
like when your band gets too big too fast, trust me, it's a
Yeah.
problem.
What do we have here?
Whoa.
All right, so Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. When they're in the what do you call the thing? When they're in the Well of Souls, where they first find the actual Ark. He's touching the Ark right here. He's holding it, right? This is in the building. This is in this tomb or in this
The
this
sun.
underground. Yeah. R2 and
That's
3PO
definitely like-
in hieroglyphs right there.
I mean, I never would have without the internet. I never would have been a part
Yeah,
of
I
my
mean,
life.
yeah, same.
But wow.
Yeah, so they can be seen carved in hieroglyphics that are from like
Whoa. Did you guys notice that Han Solo is also there? This is crazy. I've never seen this
I mean, podcast over. Really.
before. Dude, this is crazy.
That's literally a human from Earth.
yeah, right there.
Wow.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Look at
Here's
this.
the thing though.
Okay.
It's all good shit. We like this.
Or
right?
it's maybe just an old Egyptian throwing something away. Could also be
Could
that.
be.
You know what I mean?
Or
So-
whoever got all these Indiana Jones artifacts was like, let me tag this column right here before I go back to Star Wars.
Right.
or that.
All options.
Yeah, but
it's
if
entirely
it's
possible.
if it's ancient Egyptian, scribing on the wall.
Right.
It's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So, contact. I mean, think like Prometheus, right? I mean, when
Exactly.
they start finding the cave drawings that lead them to
Yes.
the origin
Yes.
of man, which then opens up the rad whole theory of what's the origin of the makers,
Human
you know.
beings. Or the
But
They do believe
yeah,
there's
I mean,
some kind of gods.
I think that's a cool
Wow.
thing that like it could be, the contact with the Star Wars galaxy as we're finding out expands beyond the galaxy that we've known until 2 months ago, right? So
Yep. Here's another one. This is one that everyone should be familiar with if you're like at the level where you're listening to a Star Wars podcast. You
Right.
you care this much that you've gone this deep.
I'm ready for this. Oh, here we go. Yeah.
This is Attack of the Clones in the Senate.
Yeah.
We all know this one, right?
This is a good one.
So,
Yep.
so this is the one to me that, without question, like
That's the
honestly,
binder.
if you guys want to keep hanging out, cool. But podcast over because ET is canon. What you're showing on the screen.
So this
Right.
species down here, before you get ahead of
Ahsogians.
yourself, Ahsogians, Ahsogiana, from the planet Brodo Asogi. These are senators representing their home planet of Brodo Asogi in the Senate, right here, in the Galactic Senate. In
Giving
what is
thunderous applause.
in Attack of the Clones.
Right.
Let's then look at this.
Also, Oogie Boogie over there from Nightmare Before Christmas, which was really great.
Here's
It's a
another
little
one.
Christmas Easter egg. For
Here's
you
what
guys.
brings it around.
A little Easter egg Christmas joke. Here we go. Ready? Who's the nav on this ship? I got an idea. Watch this. The suspense is killing me.
Who do we have here? In the movie E.T., directed by Steven Spielberg, E.T. is out trick-or-treating with the kids. They put him under a sheet so he can go out and, not be discovered.
Right.
You guys have the sound here? Can you hear the sound?
Nick, do the voices.
I got nothing. No sound.
No sound? Okay.
I mean, dude, that's...
E.T. sees this Yoda-looking dude.
And he goes to
after
him.
And he's calling to him and saying, home, home, home.
He
He's
knows.
asking-
He's like, we need to get back to... He goes, if we don't vote, Palpatine is going to take over. We have to get back. We have to vote.
If you're
Home.
here, who's running the council?
Who's running the council?
So,
I remember being a kid and being like, that was a legit Yoda mask. Like, where is that? I would like
Yeah,
to
where do
buy
I get
that.
that?
I would
That's
like
not
to
at the
buy
Halloween
that from,
store.
Right? I would like to buy that from Party City immediately.
But
Yeah.
in ET, certainly Spielberg was just having a fun time. Like,
for sure.
Like,
Wait,
it's
wait,
an
wait.
alien. He looks like an alien. That, this is fun.
But
And
bring
everyone will
up
get it.
For sure.
when E.T.'s ship is leaving, bring this up, Adam.
Oh,
Am I
what is
drop-
this one?
Am I dropping
You
some
bring it
knowledge
up.
on you?
You bring it up. No, you bring it up.
E.T.'s ship, when it's leaving, has an R2 unit attached to it.
Oh, no,
No
no.
way.
That's a different thing.
What?
That's a different thing. That's Close Encounters. So I have this in
shoot, you're right.
the maybe we'll think about it
Okay.
list. But
Okay, but
again,
so when
another
you
Spielberg
said,
joint.
but you said before I get ahead of myself, are we saying that ET is not that species?
No, he is. That's the clincher.
Right.
Like before you start talking about ET, I was just saying,
Oh,
hey,
right,
there's
right,
a
right, okay.
species, and then
Copy.
hey, here's
Right.
this movie. Yeah.
So
Confirmed on Earth.
So I'm just suggesting that whatever debate you can have now, Attack of the Clones is canon, that scene is canon, and E.T. is a film that was made with that was made before that. So it was a deliberate choice
Yeah.
to put you're smarter than me and know the name of the species, to put their species into the
So, yeah.
Senate. That's it. That he came to Earth. Earth is connected, if by nothing else.
The
that,
Star Wars
that's it.
verse,
That's
the
it.
4 verses were a thing. It's really,
Yeah.
Yes.
it's really futuristic.
Like all this
Skywriter
other
on
shit's
YouTube,
fun, but that does it. Yeah.
Skywriter on
humans-
YouTube says that was a Don Post Yoda mask. So
John Post.
Don Post was kind of like the upgraded version that had like an early license that was able to make like a lot of like pretty legit stuff in the collector market. So I'm probably gonna go eBay that right after this. So
Because in
Sick.
the 80s, trick or treating, and you wanted to go as Yoda, it was just a vinyl jumpsuit, basically, and a plastic like plate for a face.
A lot of
Definitely
lot of
didn't have
sweat.
that.
A lot of sweat in Florida. That's what it was.
sure.
I mean, Adam, I'm sure you're going to get to this, just the concept of the human, the human species, which is also, that's a canon thing, that there are humans and, and non-humans, and like humans are on Earth. That's just a thing. So a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, it's like humans have, existed more than one place in the galaxy. Like, but yeah, when you brought up the idea of this episode, I immediately thought about ET. That was where my brain went right
Yeah.
away. It was like, well, how can it not be?
Yeah, like I'm saying, all the other stuff is fun, but the Attack of the Clones and E.T. examples just really tie it up with a nice, beautiful bow. Here's the upside down R2 on the ship in Close Encounters.
Also Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
So
You assume this is just here as a Greebly, right? But like,
right.
if we want to, like, we're having a good time and we're like, this is very tongue in cheek and we're just kind of dicking around, but let's talk about this for real. How to make this make sense for real. Because there's some stuff in Legends that really like went for it.
Yeah.
But Legends legends George never fully took seriously, and they're legends now for a reason. So let's just talk canon. If a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away is by human standards a person writing a story in the 20th century, a long time ago could be 100 years. It could be 500 years. It could be 1,000, whatever. Either way, that's like not too terribly disconnected. And if you think about Earth being one of many planets that have been visited in other galaxies, because now we know other galaxies are accessible. It was not only mentioned in Attack of the Clones when Obi-Wan went and looked in the records in the Jedi archives, pointed to the galaxy, pointed to right over here, just south of the Rishi Maze. I have a screenshot of that somewhere too, but you see 3 galaxies in the shot. So intergalactic travel was canon at that point, and then they fully did it with Ahsoka, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes more. It's something that isn't common, but it seems possible, right? We don't know where these galaxies are relative to the Milky Way, whatever. But
Which also, like, I actually made a petition to change the Milky Way, the name of the Milky Way, because in Star Wars we can think of something way cooler. So I will start a petition. I would like everyone to sign it.
For it to be changed in the Star Wars universe, they're not going to call us the Milky Way.
Please do not call us the Milky Way.
Right.
I think that is probably the lamest.
Yeah.
It'd be like, "Hi, I'm Han Solo from the Milky Way." And everyone would be like, "The what?"
Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird how pop culture does the thing where you sort of inherently associate the idea that the galaxy is named after the candy bar and not the other way around?
yeah,
Like, why does your
Right.
brain do that? Because you're advertised to your entire life. That's why.
Oh
But
my
still,
Yeah,
gosh.
pretty much.
Also
Luke
depends on when you're
Skywalker
born,
from the Snickers galaxy.
Brought to you by.
Brought to you by Reese's Pieces.
Okay, so think about this. Like
E.T. Reese's Pieces are canon.
dude, you know how much that movie did for Reese's Pieces and for
Bro,
Reese's the
imagine.
company?
M&M's
Still one of
turned
my
it down.
probably top 3 go-to is Reese's
100%.
Pieces.
Dude, M&M's turned it down because they got approached to have the little M's in there. And M&M was like, this seems like a weird thing for us. We're not down with it. Reese's was like, sure, let's do it. Pating. So yeah.
Yep. Cha-chang,
I
cha-chang.
inhaled those things as a kid because of that film.
Oh my gosh. Fingers.
All right, check this out. So let's try to make sense of every one of these just for fun. The crystal skull, those are aliens anyway. That one's easy, right?
In.
Fertility idol, Sankara stones.
Yeah, how
All
did they
of
get
these-
them?
I guess
That
you
is-
would if Star Wars was a long time ago in a galaxy far, 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 far away. You have to
Maybe
imagine
they had them
just-
first.
They're just very
that's
old.
my
Right.
that's
They
my
had them
thing.
first.
Yeah. Or there are
Whoa.
many of these. Like, how many Sankara stones are there? Like, what are they?
How
What-
would they
what is-
get to Earth if they had them first, though?
They flew them in a Star
We're gonna find out in
Destroyer.
Ahsoka.
They flew them in a Star Destroyer that got wildly too fast and it crashed into Earth, and that's what
Yeah,
killed the
dude.
dinosaurs.
The moon is just a star destroyer recollected in through gravity.
Yeah,
Dude,
so
okay.
that was the Star Destroyer crash. That's what killed the dinosaurs. All right, we've been here. We know this. Okay, we know this.
My man.
Here's the thing. Are you referencing something for real?
I know.
Me?
Just
The
come
fan
on,
film?
Keep going on. It's actually amazing. All right.
Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah. So all of these, the Mayan calendar, that's, you think about like convergent evolution or not convergent evolution, some things that are evolving along similar paths that don't come from a common ancestor, whether it's an idea or a method or a species or whatever. There's no reason that same type of calendar couldn't also apply in other galaxies, and that knowledge couldn't then be passed on, whether it was by accident, by someone visiting a planet and leaving something. You see the stuff in sci-fi all the time where like, are people suggesting in real life that the pyramids weren't possible and that aliens had to have helped. It's a familiar concept. So that could work for any of these, right?
Right.
How else would they get made?
Well,
a lot of sticks.
slavery is wildly efficient. I would say, I mean, I think just the idea that like Star Wars, we don't know when Star Wars is, I think is the ultimate, like that's the ultimate gloss that everything's possible because of that. I'm in on this.
I think
the ET thing is really, that's the kicker, man.
Yeah.
I know, but the thing is, the ET thing predates what's going on now. I shouldn't be on a podcast. Andor.
Luthen?
Who?
Luthen.
Which?
In Luthen's,
Luthen's
like
shop.
shop where he has all the stuff.
Right.
That kind of thing to me, being done now in the contemporary episodic Star Wars stuff, it's so deliberate. Everything they're doing is so deliberate. And so you want to say like, there you go, them throwing another fun little Lucasfilm thing in there. And maybe we're like, we want it to be, what we want it to be. But I do think that they're just so deliberate with everything they do. And it's not like they're heading towards some storyline that involves Earth, but it is not past, the realm of reality that someone went, hey, this ET thing happened, so Earth is canon now, so we could have some fun with this, and like put some Finn, and put some relics in to connect the dots and make this as fun as it can be.
What about this? Rey's next film, Grogu goes to grab a lightsaber, it flies out of his hand into the hand of E.T.
Dude,
you heard it here first, you guys.
I want to see more of that species around. It's gonna
That'd
happen.
be crazy.
I this is very unrelated to what we're talking about, but it's also exactly what we're talking about right now. Are you guys not surprised in the current climate we're in, and have been for a little while now, with like the threat of the Goonies remake for how long now, and
Don't do it.
Ghostbusters coming back, and all, just that we haven't gotten any even like rumored ET content? I mean, I've never seen anything.
Well, there was a sequel written, they just didn't follow through.
But
whatever.
How long ago was that? Probably like
a couple years after it happened.
Right.
Yeah,
So
it was
I'm talking
pretty new,
about it's interesting to me that there's no pop culture references in any way, like in a commercial or in
Maybe
a.
we've all decided to
like,
just leave that. That's just it's.
I mean, I
goated,
would.
right?
That's,
Nothing.
it
Oh no, they
should.
did one thing, didn't they? They did that one commercial like 5 years ago, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Or maybe
Yeah.
during the pandemic.
That was a Super Bowl commercial.
Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm surprised that now wouldn't be the time that we would be hearing rumblings of or seeing rumors about an actual sequel or a film, a full blown ET film, because nostalgia is king right now.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting that IP has not been grouped in with literally like every other IP from our childhood that's getting.
Well, what would
rebooted
be
and
interesting
remade.
about what would be interesting about that is that they would land, and then you would and then Elliot has grown up, but he's actually changed his name legally to Tom DeLonge, and it's just a crazy experience. So
I buy it.
We could leave it at that. I mean, it's up. We can figure
I
it
buy
out.
it.
All we
All right,
get
here's
is the parking structure at Universal Hollywood, the ET parking structure. And then the weird thing too, you could buy an ET at Universal, and he's wearing an ET like sweatshirt. Why would he be wearing an ET sweatshirt if he's ET?
He's a fan of his own merch, maybe. I don't know. He might be a band guy. I don't know. Like, gotta sell that
So-
merch, baby.
Nick, that's another guy on the shirt. Okay, why are you so
It's a
racist?
different
They
ET.
they don't all look the
That's
same.
another Ahsoka, dude. That's one of the guys from the senatorial
They're all
chamber.
named
Come on,
ET.
dude.
Yeah.
Have some
But
respect.
it's like
This
a
is-
Groot. It's a
that's his
Groot
brother,
scenario.
BT.
It's
There you
all
go.
ET.
You say
I am ET.
ET, and then the city they're from. ET of Orange, ET of Florissant, Missouri.
I want to watch ET as soon as we get off the
Dude,
podcast.
it
tonight.
holds up.
It's been
Yeah,
a
for
very
sure.
long time since I've seen it.
It's much slower than contemporary films, pace wise, but
It does hold up though. The end will still wreck you no matter
oh,
what.
dude, yeah.
Right.
I watched it a couple years
what's
ago
the
and
best? What's
it's
the
just
best burn? When he says maybe it was an elf or a leprechaun. So it was nothing. It was nothing like that penis breath.
Dude, he's so good in that.
That's the best.
So
Wasn't Drew Barrymore high on cocaine the entire movie? And she's like 6.
Yeah, she tried it for the first time when she was 6. Well,
My
hey,
kid's
here's
7.
the one thing.
Can't imagine it, but anyways.
She's overdue. Here's the one thing we haven't mentioned yet, which is like if E.T. meeting Yoda and seeing E.T. species in the Senate are the first like 11 nails in the coffin, this is the final. Star Tours, which hasn't been declared not canon. And ever since Disney took over, they got rid of all the weird stuff at Star Wars days at the parks where Boba Fett and troopers are dancing to pop music. Like Kathleen declared everything has to be in character now. No more messing around like that.
Yeah, that just happens at Mos Eisley now.
Right. It just it moved. Star Tours does take off from Earth. Earth is mentioned as like a fueling stop, like waypoint, en route to Endor. Earth is mentioned in the script. It's in the experience. It's part of it.
And like in a galaxy a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, you could stop there like when there's dinosaurs there or whatever and fuel up on whatever natural resource it is that you're fueling up on. Like, again, we don't know when Earth is in the canon timeline. And there's no way anyone at Story Group has thought about where Star Tours fits into it. But you're right.
Matt Martin has for sure.
It's probably.
That's
it's
Filoni's
not
job,
canon. So
I mean, the tough part though is you leave Earth and then you go get wrapped up in all of the stuff from all the movies. So does that make time travel canon? I mean, how deep do we go to try to justify all this crap?
I don't know. I might need to pour another glass of wine if we're gonna get into time travel, though.
I mean, if you leave Star Tours out, it's relatively simple, I think.
The nails
Star
were in the
Tours,
coffin. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. Star Tours.
I think it's something that they've had a lot of fun with. But if we worked there, if we went into work tomorrow for the first day and we were allowed to ask all the questions we wanted to ask, and we were like, so Earth is canon, right? Like with all the fun stuff you guys have done with all the Indiana Jones relics and
ET. It's not that kind of ride.
They would be like, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course it is. Like that's why we did all that, because it's like we had to, after Spielberg did the Yoda ET thing, we had to. And then George did the Clone Wars scene. We had to figure out how to tie it all together. So that's why we've been putting all those Easter eggs in ever since.
There it is. World Between Worlds. MC Rocco in the patron chat said Star Tours is just the world between worlds. There it is.
Wow.
You get the credit, sir.
Bet you didn't think about that.
Dude, do you remember the first time you rode Star Tours?
Vaguely. I was a child.
Bro, I mean, we went down there because we went all the time. My dad's mom, my dad was raised most of his life in Maitland, Florida, which is right outside of Orlando. So my grandma took us to Disney World. It was like mom and dad would drop us off there. What are you going to do? You take us to Disney World. It's like the easiest way to like the biggest, most efficient babysitting,
Mickey is
company.
your babysitter now.
Yes.
See you later.
So man, when it came out, we went down there. It was just like, honestly, I think it was as cool as Galaxy's Edge was for you and I, Adam, when we went for the first time together. Like as a kid riding Star Tours, and like when the thing opened and 3PO was just in and R2 were just in there.
Yeah, standing there in real life.
Booping, you were just like, your mind was melting inside of your skull.
That was peak.
Oh, dude.
Hey, aren't we getting new Star Tours next year? Right?
I've
like new
heard
Star
that.
Tours missions? Yeah.
Like they're overhauling a lot of it, not just some of the technology and stuff as well, right? Supposedly.
I bet they'll be upgrading
sure.
the screens to like 4K or 8K screens or
They
whatever,
should.
like they have and everything now.
Oh, also the shuttle from Star Tours is in the Rise of Skywalker in the end with all those ships. So.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It is?
The shuttle from Star Tours.
Yeah, it's in. They're just people. All and when everybody shows up, it's there.
Well, now you
They're
definitely
just
can't.
tourists.
That confirms that Star Tours is canon.
Man, if next year we're on Star Tours and we're in that scene, that would be so good.
Ooh.
How
Yeah.
big would that be?
Yes.
We could
That's
do that
the
in
thing.
February. We
Yeah.
could do that in February. Just saying.
Give me the
I don't know.
goosebumps, son.
That would be so good.
We could do it in February.
It's not going to be ready then.
I hope it would be cool. We can wish.
It's just
There's a couple funny things. We were going to talk about some more pop culture references, but we decided to maybe do a larger episode about like a bigger topic about the impact of Star Wars on pop culture and different things like that. So we'll probably get to it then. But I do want to mention a couple things, talking about director crossovers and things like that. J.J. Abrams, who wrote and directed, right? Or co-wrote and directed and produced the Star Trek reboot in 2009.
Yes.
Put an R2 unit flying out of an explosion
Right.
in there, you see for a couple frames. There's another one in Star Trek Into Darkness flying out of another explosion. That's obviously just for fun, but something really interesting in, let's see, which one? Is Star Trek First Contact? There's a Millennium Falcon flying out of the Borg cube as an explosion is happening.
It's so crazy. Why would they do that?
For fun, because they figured nobody would ever see it.
Yeah,
again.
and
They
like
couldn't
that's the
predict-
thing
Like,
is
no one's got a podcast
It's like
about that.
sacrilege.
all that stuff
It's a
is just for
podcast.
fun, and I think so much of the early stuff we've talked about tonight in Star Wars was just for fun, but then it got to a point where it was kind of like all these dots have to connect. I mean, that's what their
Like, are we committing or what?
story group's all about, like making sure the dots connect. So that's why I think you can't put those stones in Luthen's museum or in his storage locker, whatever. You can't without them meaning something. Like it just doesn't. I don't think they do things anymore that they don't necessarily have to turn into shows or episodes or destinations. But if they're going to put it there, it means okay, we're committing that this belongs in galaxy in story.
Yeah.
So I don't see them doing it just for fun anymore.
Dude, the Borg cube thing, though, if you know anything about Star Trek, anyone, you know that the Borg just go around the universe assimilating species and just absorbing stuff. So if there's any species that would go collecting some shit from Star Wars, it would be them. I'm going to add that one to the support pile. And then there are a couple things in Legends, like we mentioned earlier. There's actually a 2004. They were doing this as recently as 2004. A dark horse comic. It's sort of like a what if series. Star Wars Tales number 19.
This one is
It's a
nuts.
story called. It's pretty
Guess
goofy.
who has
This
that
one is
comic
nuts.
book?
You have
I'll
it?
tell the story. I'll tell the story after.
Okay.
Yep.
Of how the story of the story, or
No,
how you
story
got
of
the
how I
comic?
got it. Just
Got it,
fun
okay.
little 1 minute story.
So it's called Into the Great Unknown. Han Solo and Chewie take the Millennium Falcon blindly into hyperspace and end up crashing on Earth in the Pacific Northwest. Han Solo gets attacked and killed by a
By the
group of
Goonies.
Native Americans. And
Killed.
killed. Yeah, he dies.
Yeah.
And 126 years later, his skeleton is discovered by none other than Indiana Jones, who's searching the area for the fabled Sasquatch.
For the Goonies.
And I don't remember exactly. I remember if Chewie's dead also, and he finds Chewie's skeleton, and that's the Sasquatch tie-in, or if there's like legends of it because Chewie had been there. I haven't read the thing.
Yeah, I forget. I can't remember if there's definitely a Sasquatch tie.
It would
with
track
Chewie
that.
being it.
Yeah, it would track that Chewie is what created the Bigfoot myth.
Yeah,
It's pretty sick.
it's so funny.
It's goofy, but I'm into it.
A couple of years ago, there's a giant collectible store out here called Frankenson. It's in an old Sam's Club, so that's how big it is. It's a giant collectible store, they call it, or they call it a show. But it's only open Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's like this hybrid Comic-Con flea market thing. And I had heard about this comic book. I knew what it looked like. There's a lot of comic books in Frankenson. And I finally found it, and it was like $25. I had to dig for it. I didn't want to ask for it because I just assumed if someone had it, they would be like, oh, yeah, it's $150 or whatever. Because it's kind of like sought after. So I went to this one place that just had like thousands and thousands and thousands of comic books. I was looking through Star Wars stuff, and I found it. And it was $25. I'm like, oh, cool. I want to buy this. So the dude gives it to me for $25, and I'm like still looking at comics after I buy it, and like 5 minutes pass, and he's like, oh, you hosed me on that one. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, this thing's like so rare and worth like 5 times the amount that I sold it to you for. I'm like, oh, sorry. I don't know. I'm not trying to sell it. You know, I'm like, I just
You're
wanted
bad.
it. Yeah. I'm like,
Not mine.
Sorry for your loss, sir.
I'm like, I didn't hose you. You know, I'm like, I didn't think I was getting away with something. It's not like I bought it and ran away.
Like you brought the price tag in with you and wrote on it and stuck it on there.
Yeah. No, but if you get it like graded, there's some that are like 300 something bucks if it's like a,
Oh wow.
you know, graded like 9.8 or something, which it's in good condition. I just have it like in a bin somewhere, like in a, you know, a protective case. But some of them that are actually graded online are over 300 bucks, which pretty cool.
I love that Han Solo was not able to defeat the indigenous people with his blaster. Like,
Yeah.
like straight Ewok weapons killed him.
Yeah,
You know, stranger
pretty
things have
much.
happened. I mean, they crashed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe he was wounded.
Not on it. Not on top of it. Nick, you're gonna have to reread this and give us the full rundown.
Hey,
I
we
can
need
do it.
episodes. We're gonna do a full breakdown of number 19 or whatever it is.
It is number 19. Dark Horse comic.
It's not in Hoopla. I just looked for it. Unfortunately.
There's a couple of different covers too. The one I have is like a promo shot of Harrison Ford as Han. There's one that looks like a little bit more of like comic
When
art.
was it released? Originally.
2004.
Yeah. Yeah, the one I have says Star Wars Tale. Star Wars is in pink, and it looks like just a promo shot of Han Solo, like against the background. It's kind of weird.
The Blue Guy 808 in the patron chat says, going back to Star Trek First Contact, ILM did do the visual effects for that movie. So,
Yeah, so they just snuck it in there.
yeah. That's an old school visual effects thing, you know, like he's like the Blue Guy's saying here, just to, you know, sneak things in for fun. Because nobody predicted digital home video of any kind. You
Did
know?
ILM do the effects for Close Encounters? I want to say yes.
Close Encounters was at the same time, right around, was it 78?
Just wondering if they threw the little R2 unit on the ship just to be like, that'd be awesome.
They were making it right around the same time, so I mean ILM wasn't ILM proper quite yet. So it was some other
Interesting that they were able to get that R2 unit in there that quickly then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sure he just grabbed, you know, somebody came over and just grabbed one or something. I'd love to hear the story. The last thing, there is something in, I don't know what comic this was in. Maybe it was in a book. There's like a tabloid in the Star Wars universe, at least in, you know, in Legends, called the Galactic Gossip, and the Galactic Gossip reported that a newlywed Duros couple, Duros being the species that Cad Bane is, had been abducted by humans and taken to a planet they identified as, quote, Eartha, Urthha.
That's even cooler then. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with Eartha.
And they it said the Duros thought that they were at, quote, a party, an event where the humans wearing different uniforms gathered around them with liquid canisters and examined their bodies, brought them to a table.
White light, bright white lights.
Exactly. So yeah, it's like an Area 50 or Area 51 kind of thing. But that again is Legends because that shit's just weird. It's fun, but you know, I think it's like the kind of thing where Ryan, you're saying they're doing all this on purpose. They're giving us all of this fun stuff to connect, but we're never going to go to Earth. Like it's not going to happen in Star Wars.
No, and
we're not
I
gonna
think
see it because
I think
it would be this shit.
And I think what's cool about it is that it just started off as fun, and then it sort of had to become, if our theory is correct, it sort of had to become canon. You know, if that's the right word for it, because there's been so many fun references over the last 4 decades. You know, that to continue using them in these really current stories that we know are so developed under the microscope to make sure that it's all working properly together, that all the different storylines are lining up and heading towards these feature films and all that. You don't just throw the Indiana Jones stuff in there and then expect us not to notice it.
Yeah.
You know, and like if they're going to be held to a certain standard of canonizing everything else and keeping the story on track, why would we not hold them to the same standard with any Earth relics or references that they put into the actual story that is canon?
Here's the last thing I'll say to close this. Everything we're talking about, all these potential explanations are cool, but nothing is cooler, in my opinion, than the Star Wars fan film made 3 years ago. Yep, that's when it came out, 3 years ago, called Star Wars Origins.
It's awesome. It's so fun.
It is, the scope of it is huge. I don't know how they pulled it off. I don't know what they spent on it. James Arnold Taylor plays a small part in it. I don't want to say anything about the plot because it's that cool.
So we need content. Can we make an episode? I haven't watched it. Can we make an episode about that?
I mean, we could.
Yeah, we
We
could
could follow it up. We
Really
could.
could.
It's, I mean, it's the kind of thing that we could mention here and spoil, but I think it's almost cooler for people to just go watch it.
Well, yeah.
We could do a watch party with patrons or something and like
Okay.
kind of.
I've
do
never
something
seen
like
it.
that.
I would love that.
I'll send you
awesome.
the link. It's just I think it's just Star Wars Origins Film. Yep, at Star Wars Origins Film on YouTube. That's the handle. It's 21 minutes long. I think, I don't know, I won't critique it. They went big for a reason. You can definitely see the limitations of the budget in it here and there, but what they pulled off is still on a level that I have never seen in a fan film. It's so sick. And the story idea is just brilliant. It's like actually kind of pretty emotional. Even when I think about it, I'm like, damn, I'm getting goosebumps. It's that cool. So check it out, Star Wars Origins on YouTube, at Star Wars Origins Film. Anything else you guys want to shout out before we wrap up, other than Moshe Eisley?
I just might not. It's touch and go for me from here out, so I may not see you guys until after the new year or in a few weeks.
Well, good luck with everything.
Thank you for somehow we find a way every week.
Sorry.
Every week. Do you do it when I'm not here? Do you connect? Does it become a Top Gun podcast?
No, because then
I
I'd just be like, did you guys get that? You didn't. Okay.
We have a couple.
Okay,
we have
I got it.
We have a couple. Not every episode. Yeah.
So yeah, I have a just a small life event occurring, and I love you guys, and I just it's cool to do life with my friends. That's all I want to say.
Same
Ryan, I will say welcome you over to this other onto the dad side. It is
The dad patch, baby.
Yeah, for sure. It is a life-changing experience, literally, in so many ways, as you bring life into the world. But just stay in touch. You'll have a lot of time on your hands.
Yep.
And that's kind of what you do. You have a lot of time and a lot of baby on your hands, but the baby is usually tiny. So you're.
I'm very excited. I'm very ready to get it, to get started. I've done I think the right amount of reading and podcasting and things to not be like overwhelmed with too much information, but to be in the right headspace to start the journey. So I feel very prepared, even though I know you can't possibly be prepared. So I think that's the right mindset to be like, I have some tools that I think I need, but I know that I'm not going to be ready no matter how ready I think I am.
Right.
So
I would go to sleep in 5 minutes
now
to start. Yeah, saving your sleep for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been
bank
doing
it.
that.
Good.
I've been like 11 p.m. Normally, I would say good night, babe, and come up here and game all night. And I've been like, all right, it's time for bed.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
It's smart. It's smart.
Trying.
Well, I hope you never get to the point where you have to cut off your kid's hand and he doesn't have to cut off yours, and then ultimately burn you on a pyre.
Funeral pyre. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hope it goes.
Yeah, I
better
don't want to
than
have
Well,
to
when you put it
sacrifice
that way.
myself to save him from force lightning. That's not. That doesn't happen.
Nick and I don't have to deal with that stuff with our dogs. They're never going to cut off our hands. It's just not going to happen.
No,
Nick's dog is canon though.
that's for
It's true.
sure. Also, I definitely won't be here next week because Bayside is in the studio. The following
Hey.
week, I'm going to try, but hello and goodbye for the next week or two.
Shout out Roosevelt's. I just remembered. We didn't say this at the top. Why we're all three wearing the same shirt? We've got new Roosevelt's holiday shirts on. There
But
are 2 new
these
Christmas
sold
shirts.
out. Sorry.
Yeah,
This one is
so-
gone.
sorry.
This one is super gone. It's already on eBay for an atrocious amount. So we do apologize for rubbing it in your face, but they have.
I like the other one more, the red one.
The red one is
I
very
like
cool.
the red one a lot.
People are upset about the red one because there's clone troopers on there when it should be stormtroopers, right? Because this is a Star Wars podcast and people get very spicy about stuff like that. So watch Adam's face.
The red one is still available.
The red one is still available. And if you can find Rebel Crumb, which I think is probably my favorite Christmas one, which is the Dark Side cookies or the Star Wars cookies. I think that one's probably my favorite.
That was last year, right?
That the red one was last year's, but then they still have like a teal version that you can buy at like, is it Buc-ee's? Buc-ee's?
Buc-ee's, the truck stop.
Buc-ee's,
yeah.
Oh, that place
Buc-ee's.
is my personal hell.
Yeah, it's not fun if you have any slight degree of anxiety, like diagnosed anxiety. Stay away from Buc-ee's.
Or you don't want anything.
Stay
Or
away.
you want something that doesn't have meat all over it.
Okay.
It's like Black Friday in 1996 every single day, 24 hours a day at that place.
We gotta get this. I gotta get this 32-inch TV for a great deal.
Like the Buc-ee's homemade pork rinds, just people clawing each other's eyeballs out to get to the counter. It's like there's the one that is between here and Disney World, between it's in like around Daytona.
Okay.
I have no idea if this is true. I'm just gonna say it. It's the busiest one in the world. I don't actually know that at all, but I swear it's the busiest one in the world. And dude, I'll never go there again. I mean, Laura and I were coming back from Disney World one time, and it was just time to get gas, and there's Buc-ee's. So I guess you'd go to Buc-ee's. I will never ever Grogu. He just dropped this thing. I will never ever go there again. It was crazy.
It's disgusting, dude. It's like an Idiocracy gas station. Welcome,
dude, it was
love you.
Crazy. There were like 1,000 people inside the store. I mean, it was like, sorry, excuse me. It was like an Instagram reel about Black Friday in the 90s. Like that's what it felt like, and it was just a Monday afternoon.
Get out.
It was terrible.
Get out.
I feel like
terrible.
younger touring bands romanticize it. I think rightfully, because when you're in a van and you're traveling for like 6, 7, 8 hours, would you rather pull up there or, shitty gas station? So it's like kind of romanticized a little bit with younger touring bands. But the one time I went, I was just like, get me the hell out of here. This place is literally the worst place.
It's terrible. It's just terrible.
Hey, you know what isn't the worst place? A venue called Sun on the Beach, February 3rd in Orlando. That's where we're doing Mosh Isley. That's the weekend of MegaCon. Tickets are still on sale. The VIP tickets are sold out, but you can still get general admission. And then if you get the merch bundle, which is a separate thing, not sold as a ticket, merch bundle gets you access to Cantina Hour, which is awesome. We'll be hanging before. That's another hour and a half or so before the show. An exclusive shirt, a poster, a tote bag, a patch, and a sticker. Get it at moshisley.com.
I got like all new threads, head to toe. So y'all want to be at that Cantina Hour.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Come hang out with us. We're doing big things. Working on some story stuff. It's going to be cool. It's going to be a good time. February 3rd, Orlando, Sun on the Beach, moshisley.com. Dudes, thanks for hanging and having this ridiculous conversation with me about stuff that I'm actually still serious about, even though we've been laughing the whole time.
We did it.
Earth is canon.
We did it.
Earth is canon. This podcast is called Thank the Maker. And until next time, may the Force be with you.